Thursday, July 27th. It's great to have you here. Welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show on Damon Bruce Plus. Welcome. Every single day I sit down and I see the conversations that are happening in the chat before I even get here. And it feels like every day now there's a new name, a new regular. And that's fantastic. That means it's growing. I can't wait to see, hopefully, all of you on August 5th when we get to Victory Hall for our first ever Plus Crew meetup. It's on Rich Street starting at 3 o'clock, and we'll be promoting the hell out of that. I even have a little Eventbrite sign-up sheet so the good folks at Victory Hall know approximately about how many people are interested in coming to this so they can staff it appropriately, and we can figure out how much of the ganja jar we need to bring with us for when we all slip outside to be cool. It is really good to have you here. Thanks so much for stopping on by once again, and we got some things to talk about today that are important things. I guess passing of the torch moment feels like it's kind of happening. You know, every single season, just by definition of it being a new sports season, comes with rookies. There's always a new class. There's always a young guy. There's always a young gal making their debut across sports at all levels of sports. There's always a rookie class. You got to love rookie classes. Some of them definitely mean more than others. There's no doubt about that. And the impact that rookies have, you know, varies team to team, coach to coach, draft class to draft class. It's always natural to get excited about a rookie. And then you start learning, all right, is this excitement well placed? Well, I tell you, if you're placing some excitement about the new rookies that are emerging throughout the Bay Area, just the Bay Area, it feels that there is like officially a passing of the torch happening. One team more dramatically than others, but let's just start with the fact that we're getting close to a football season, right? I think that there are two rookies on the 49ers that are going to impact this season, like take through their own play a game from a loss column into the win column, or with poor play, take a game that would have been in the win column into the loss column. And it's easy to start with Jair Alexander, who was a third-round pick, but the first pick the 49ers were allowed to make in last year's NFL draft. He's a safety out of Penn State, and even though the 49ers are stacked at safety, this guy's just stacked as a player. I think he's going to be on the field. I think he's going to be out there making an impact. I like Jair Brown an awful lot. Jair Brown is someone who is just pops off of tape. He really does. He did, at least when I was watching Penn State games last year. 6 interceptions, I think, led the team. And he's a real good player. I think Jair Brown is going to be given an opportunity to make this team better with significant snap counts. But he's probably not the rookie that's going to mean the most to the 49ers on a game-by-game, quarter-by-quarter basis. That's going to be their kicker. Jake Moody, their rookie kicker, stepping into the void of Robbie Gould. Boy, those are big shoes to fill. You know, counting on Robbie Gould to make that kick usually came with a historical amount of success. So an awful big burden is going to fall on a rookie kicker in a year where the price of poker is officially all the way pushed into the max limit room for the 49ers. There is but one goal for the 49ers. That is to appear in and win the Super Bowl. Got to do that with a rookie kicker. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, I mean, my position on Trace Jackson Davis is pretty well, made. Everyone knows that I'm a fan of him for a couple of reasons, but I really think he's going to be a big part of Steve Kerr's rotation. My stance on him, again, very well documented. It's because I'm familiar with him, and we even, just got a small glimpse of him in Las Vegas, but I was impressed by that small glimpse. He was the same player that I saw his senior year at Indiana, which means he's going to be an impact. He's going to be someone who helps win more than 1 or 2 games, I think, this year for the Golden State Warriors. I really believe that. Now, when it comes to Brandon Pajemski, I don't know. Look, to me, he's one massive question mark, and I'm not sure it's fair to say that he will definitively answer that question in his rookie year. I think it's going to take a little time for him to learn the speed of the game, the size of the game. He looked overwhelmed at times in Summer League. He was touted as a shooter. We didn't get much shooting out of him, but he did see the court well. What he is as a defender is going to be tested. Every single time he's out on the court, he's an easy point of attack for any offense to consider. So we will see what Brandon Pajemski is able to contribute. You know, the Warriors, I'm not saying that there's a passing of the torch, because we all know who still holds the torch. It's Steph, Clay, and Draymond, for goodness sakes, along with Andrew Wiggins and Kevon Looney. They're the torch bearers, but it really feels like for the first time in Steve Kerr's tenure as a coach, there could be a rookie to hand some significant minutes to, and I don't think it's going to be their first-round pick. I think it's going to be their second round pick, Trayce Jackson-Davis. Then when you really want to get to an example of rookies changing a situation for a better, look no further than the San Francisco Giants, who last night, even though he yet to record a hit, he hit the ball hard. You could hear it off the bat. Well, then people are going to hold that against me forever on Joey Bart. I know they are. A little sip of the day. Trayce Jackson-Davis, again, we're off of him. We're talking about the Giants now. Marco Luciano, he made his debut last night with the Giants, took an offer, but, you know, good to see you, kid. Welcome to the show. Got a standing ovation on the way to and from his first home plate appearance. Welcome to San Francisco, kid. Fans are excited to see you. Hopefully it all works out. Luis Matos, obviously, Casey Schmidt, Brett Wisely, Blake Sable, all rookies who have made an impact so far. The best rookie we've seen since Buster Posey is clearly Patrick Bailey, and I'm not just saying that because he's a catcher too. This guy has proven himself to be more than special early in his career. And when it comes to this rookie class, we might see it grow here, because there's a very good chance that Kyle Harrison or Carson Wisenhunt might actually get called up this year, if not one, maybe even both. So we have yet to see the contributions end from rookies, and a couple we might not even have met yet. That's how interesting things are with the Giants rookie class. So we got rookies a-popping. Rookies a-popping across the Bay. I like it. Hopefully you like it too. One guy who is definitively not a rookie is Mike Yastrzemski. Not a lot of time spent highlighting defensive plays unless they're, you know, straight up web gem level catches in the outfield or a guy specifically robbing home runs. As a matter of fact, I don't think either of Mike Yastrzemski's plays last night will make the highlight reel on SportsCenter if they're actually still showing highlights of San Francisco Giants games on SportsCenter. I don't know. I really don't watch much anymore. But Mike Yastrzemski last night saved about 180 feet of base path success from the Oakland A's, just the way that he played two balls hit to him. It's easy to look at Yastrzemski and say, well, he's either going well at the plate or he's not going well at the plate. So Mike Yastrzemski is either up or down. What he is as a defensive player for the Giants is significant, especially when he's out there in right field. He played a ball hit off the wall deep in Triple's alley that is normally a stand-up triple. 80% of the time, he played that into a double. He also kept a runner at first with another way he played a ball hit out to him, and he took a double away from an Athletic last night. So he robbed an A of a triple, he robbed another A of a double, and Yastrzemski even added some insurance late in the game with a deep hit out to the same alley, which he made a really nice defensive play in earlier in the game. It's good to see that Mike Yastrzemski is starting to play well. It's really good to see him playing well defensively, which gets overshadowed. He is a good outfielder, and he was a part of the Giants' win last night over the A's. It is a day off for the San Francisco Giants, and it's time for Farhan to get to work on a trade that will help make this team even better. He's got 5 days. The Major League trade deadline is within 5 days. Now, we know that Farhan has been on the margins. He's already working on the margins. As a matter of fact, last night, Red Sox minor leaguer Marquise Johnson was traded for and will report to San Jose for San Francisco in return for Mauricio Jovera, The 27-year-old pitched for the Giants in each of the past 2 seasons. I believe, well, was that an oblique injury that he had? Joe Vera was a guy that we saw a bit of, and then he got hurt, and then we saw a bit of him more, and then he got hurt. And then the bit that we saw wasn't particularly impressive, which is why Farhan, I think, just put him up for grabs to get something in return for him. But I don't think we're going to see, Red Sox minor league righty Marquise Johnson coming in to save the day. There's got to be a move for Farhan, adding a pitcher, either from his own farm system or making a trade. And I've heard, Justin Verlander's name actually attached to some San Francisco Giants rumors. Let's see if that wouldn't come about. It'd be nice to see Justin Verlander, and I heard he comes with a lovely wife, which will look great sitting in the wives and girlfriends section at the ballpark. Come on, Kate. We'd love to see you. So we got an interesting time coming up for the San Francisco Giants, no doubt about it. Time for Farhan on an off day for his major league club to be working on a trade that could possibly change the arc of this season. The Giants are 3 games back of LA for second place. Starting on Friday, they got 3 games with Boston. Then they got 4 huge games with Arizona, who they're just 1 game ahead of right now. Dodgers in first place, Giants in second place, Arizona 1 game back of San Francisco. Then you got the abbreviated Bay Bridge series beginning again in Oakland on August 5th. And once again, that's when we're doing our first Plus meetup at Victory Hall. I hope you can clear your schedule and come and join us in person at Victory Hall on Rich Street starting around 3 o'clock. I'm going to have the whole family there. The Duchess is even going to be in town, and she'll be in the corner drinking probably, well, let's see, Linda's probably going to go Cosmo. Maybe Martini. We'll get the Duchess just rolling. Maybe we'll even bring her out to the alley to get her into the ganja jar. Linda gets down. So, look, it is a lot of big things coming up for the San Francisco Giants. A lot of big things coming up for Club Plus. Our first Club Plus in real life is happening on August 5th. And again, please keep an eye on my Twitter feed. I'm going to put it up on Threads. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to put it everywhere on the gram even. And we will hopefully use an Eventbrite sign-up sheet to get an idea of the head count that we're going to be looking at for our August 5th meetup at Victory Hall. Really looking forward to that. One guy that the Giants won't be trading for, one guy that no team will be trading for is officially now Shohei Ohtani. The Angels pulled him off the trade block, and not only pulled him off the trade block, they gave him, I don't know if it's reason to believe that he could appear in the postseason for the first time in his career this year. But Shohei Ohtani's got new teammates. As of last night, the Angels acquired right-hander Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez from the White Sox. So a couple of pitchers, one of them probably one of the biggest names to trade for at the deadline, Lucas Giolito, is now in Anaheim. The Angels woke up today 4 games back of the final wild card berth in the American League. Now, I don't know if they, are fooling themselves here, but they're trying to get something out of the last couple months of Shohei Ohtani that they're probably going to have to enjoy, and maybe trying to stack the cupboard of guys who will consider re-signing in Anaheim to keep on going in Southern California with Mike Trout, since that's what the Angels are probably going to look like next year once Ohtani leaves for brighter pastures, greener pastures. That's the saying. And it's interesting. We got a very interesting short week for Major League Baseball. The trade deadline is 5 days away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. How quickly will football be here? Maximum football! Again, we're not quite there yet, but we are merely 42 days away from the first game of week 1 this season. We're 42 days away from the NFL season kicking off with the Lions at the Chiefs. You blink your eyes, you sneeze a couple times, you are going to see football in front of you once again. Hopefully, as you are planning your lunch today, you are going to see a delicious sandwich from Ike's in front of you. If you want to get one in front of you, all you got to do is open that Ike's app up and have one delivered to you from nearly 100 locations. I believe he is opening a new Ike's location today in Roseville, so he is a busy guy as always. And I can tell you right now, there are a couple new sandwiches coming to Ike's that are, I don't know how we would even describe them, premium sandwiches that are, I've already seen them. They look delicious, and they're going to be available come August, and we'll tell you about them. But I'm going to use 2 words that should get you excited. Wagyu pastrami. I mean, you had me at pastrami. Wagyu pastrami? Okay. Ike is going top shelf. I like that. If you're looking for a top shelf sandwich, you're going to find one at Ike's. I can promise you that. If you're looking for some top shelf liquor, well, check out my boys over at Blackened. But by the way, it's not a top shelf price point. It's a very approachable price point. So I want you to walk into Bevmo, get yourself a bottle of Blackened. If you haven't tried Blackened, and if you'd like to, I can promise you we're going to be serving up some Blackened whiskey at our first Plus meetup at Victory Hall on August 5th. So come on by. We're going to have some swag to give away, maybe a bottle or two, maybe a jacket or two, maybe a t-shirt or two, some stuff from our friends at Blackened will be up for grabs at Victory Hall, and maybe even a lumpia or two from our third and final and beloved San Francisco original sponsor, Hello Uncle Boys, a San Francisco original. If you are coming in or out of the inner Richmond, stop on Balboa and 4th. Get yourself a burger at Uncle Boy's. Get yourself a baggie of onion rings, and also pick up that lumpia. Oh my God, the lumpia are so good. Trust me. Trust Uncle Damon on that. Go ahead and take care of us by taking care of our sponsors. We'll deeply, deeply appreciate all of that. Again, we are 42 days away from football season kicking off. We are no more days away from Brock Purdy returning to the San Francisco 49ers. You talk about an impactful rookie year. He certainly had one last year. When he was thrown into the fire, he helped the 49ers cook very, very well, and he is getting thrown back out onto the field today for the first time since leaving the field injured with a broken elbow in the NFC title game. Obviously, he didn't break his elbow, but a minor tear of his UCL, which could have resulted in Tommy John. It didn't. Surgery happened. They repaired it. Things have gone very, very well. And proof positive is the guy is back out on the football field this afternoon for the first time since leaving the NFC title game. That is a good day for the San Francisco 49ers. That is a good day for Team Brock Purdy. That is a good day for that entire offense. That's a good day for Kyle Shanahan to get a quarterback that he deeply developed a trust in and never lost sight of that trust. I'm not saying that he doesn't trust Trey Lance, or he might not trust Sam Darnold one day, but he does trust Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy earned that trust. A trusted agent, if I could borrow a saying from Jim Harbaugh. So he's back in the mix, and that is a good day for the San Francisco 49ers. I saw that Jalen Ramsey was carted off the field in practice today. Obviously, this isn't a 49ers story. This happened in Miami, but let's see what that looks like. NFL training camp injuries, if you avoid them, you're having yourselves a good day at training camp. But a backup quarterback was only 6 of 13 on his drop back pass. Shut up. Dude, the incessant tweeting of statistical success or failure from training camp. Again, they haven't even put on freaking pads yet. Calm down. Here's a good day at training camp. No one got hurt. That's it. That's how you have a good day at training camp. No one was hurt today. That's all the 49ers are looking for. That's all I'm looking for in any training camp report. Everyone come back healthy? Yes. Good day at training camp. So Brock is officially back in the mix for the Niners. That is good news. If you're a Jets fan, you got to be thrilled with Aaron Rodgers now being your quarterback. You really do. First of all, it's Aaron Rodgers, right? And all the nonsense that comes with Aaron Rodgers has been tamped way back to the corner of the conversation because, man, Aaron Rodgers just took a $35 million pay cut. And what do you know? Along with that news, we see that Devin Cook is going to be visiting the New York Jets very soon. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, again, reworked a contract, according to an ESPN report, which he voluntarily reduced his salary by about $35 million over the next 2 seasons, which will give the New York Jets an awful lot more flexibility. Rodgers, who just, is 39 years old. He signed a 2-year, $75 million contract, fully guaranteed, and he was due to make close to $110 million in guarantees on his previous contract. He gave that back to the Jets, and to say that this is an uncommonly large pay cut is pretty much like the understatement of the year. Who's given back $35 million, especially to the team that he has just been, traded for to become the savior of? So, look, Aaron Rodgers is also hedging a little bets and hedging some criticism. And if things don't go well for him, the New York media can't turn around and say, well, Aaron's taking up too much of the cap now, and that's why the Jets can't do that. No. He's giving some back, man. He is really, really stepping into a New York market very well, very delicately. He's pushing all the right buttons. They love him on sports talk radio. That's good for Aaron because we know he's got rabbit ears. The first 3-game losing streak that the New York Jets face this year, they're going to come for him. This ain't Green Bay, sweetheart. They are going to come for you, Aaron, whether you gave back $35 million or took $35 million. Eating Jets quarterbacks alive is a daily snack on New York sports talk radio. So good luck with everything. Good luck with everything as you're planting goodwill in New York. It won't last very, very long. But if you're a Jets fan, you officially get to be excited about Aaron Rodgers being your quarterback. I would not rob you of that. In another football story that borders on absolutely incredible, unbelievable, folks, Coach Prime has got the entire damn university in the transfer portal. Did you see the story of what's happening with Colorado? Colorado, a former member of the Big 12, left the Big 12 to join the Pac-12, is now going to be going back to the Big 12. Now, there's still some paperwork to be worked out. As a matter of fact, they voted to rejoin the Big 12 before the Big 12's application to even take Colorado back, I guess, has been agreed to. Like, that's how much Colorado can't wait to get out of the Pac-12. And all I can tell you is if there weren't any bad news, there'd be no news for the Pac-12. It just keeps getting outmaneuvered as a conference at every single turn. All of them. Larry Scott officially set up the Pac-12 to fail. The new commish, George Kliakov, he ain't stepping in solving problems. He's not. If you have no media deal, you have no ability to be a major conference. You can count them, days away from the start of college football. And there's no media deal for the Pac-12? I mean, it feels like the conference has been slow playing this for several years. Well, we don't need a media deal because we got our own network. Okay, where can I find your network? You can't because there's no media picking it up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Big 12 got aggressive, slamming a new media deal through. I remember when making fun of the Big 12 was very much the favorable thing to do because, not only did they lose Nebraska, they lose Missouri, they're losing Texas, they're losing Oklahoma. Shame on the Big 12. Well, Big 12 circled the wagons. They got a choice media deal done, which expands and contracts based on who's coming into the conference, which is now Colorado. And let's be totally honest. It's one thing to have a team leave a conference for new ground. It's another thing entirely for having a team that left a conference to come to your conference, look around and say, basically, oh man, this new conference stinks, and go back to the Big 12. And Colorado won one game last year, and they're like, we can do better because we can do it in a conference with a media deal. And all I can tell you, when it comes to being outmaneuvered at every single turn, the Pac-12 was 100% counting on the attention that was going to follow Deion Sanders and his tenure in Boulder for whatever media deal that they're going to turn around and try to sell to, whatever media company they're trying to sell it to. Why would you? Why? Why would you even want a media deal with the Pac-12? Because starting a year from now, there is no USC, no UCLA, and now no Deion and no Colorado to even sell as your game of the week, your interesting moment of the week. Oregon's going to have to crank out some unbelievable freaking uniforms on a Saturday by Saturday basis for people to pay attention to anything going on in the Pac-12. Good God. What a disaster. For Colorado to go back to the conference that it left. It's not only savagely embarrassing, it is a devastating assessment of the Pac-12's future and how it's being run. Do you think that Lincoln Riley and Deion Sanders, before they took their jobs, were told by their universities, by the way, we're going to look to get out of the Pac-12 as soon as humanly possible? That's part of you coming here. Does that appeal to you? That's unbelievable. And what's maybe even more unbelievable is go back just 10, 15 years ago and think what would have happened if you had offered San Diego State. What if you had offered the Aztecs a chance to join the Pac-12? Would they have jumped at that at the speed of sound or the speed of light? Like San Diego State would have gone ahead and started expelling kids in the name of, we can join the Pac-12, let's do that immediately. There's no doubt. Now San Diego State is like, I don't know. I don't know if we really want to get out of a conference that has a media deal, as paltry as it is, to join a conference without one. Can you imagine if the Pac-12 officially gets to the point where they're formally inviting in San Diego State and the Aztecs are like, nah? Because that could happen. That could happen. San Jose State, this might be your shot. This might be your shot, the third team in the Bay Area to be a Pac-12 school. Oh, my God. The third team that basically nobody in the Bay Area cared about because Stanford and Cal ain't moving the needle either. Can you imagine the Pac-12 having zero footprint in Southern California, which thanks to USC and UCLA leaving this conference next year for the Big Ten, that's Big Ten country, baby. Los Angeles, Big Ten country. Unbelievable. And if you think for a second that now, well, that means since there's no real Pac-12 footprint in Southern California, other Pac-12 teams can now come into LA and raid it with impunity. You're nuts. Every single one of those kids is going to be looking at like, oh, now I can go to Ohio State and Michigan, and I can stay at USC and play in a major conference that is sending out frickin' Maria Taylor and Scott Van Pelt or whatever to host pregame. I mean, it is embarrassing what has happened to the Pac-12, and they have nothing more than their own poorly chosen now sequence of commissioners to look at and really shake the stick of blame at. You talk about biggest regressions in your lifetime. I don't know if we've ever seen anything happen anywhere like we're watching happen to the Pac-12. The Conference of Champions is setting itself up to essentially no longer exist. It's shocking. It really is. Speaking of other shocking developments from the world of sports, before we step into Club Plus here, I got to know Bomani Jones when I was in Paris. I was in Paris actually getting engaged to Jillian when I got a direct message from Bomani Jones, who I had never met before, but we had been following each other on Twitter, and I had been posting pictures of, hey, I'm in Paris, and he reached out to me and basically said, hey, man, I'm in Paris too. So Bomani Jones, Jillian, and I got together for a fantastic lunch one day in a Parisian cafe, and we had a great time, and we got to know each other. And I look at it this way. I was a fan of the guy before that moment. I've been a huge fan of him since. Bomani Jones is all kinds of smart and interesting, and that's what I'm attracted to. People who are smart and interesting. It is unfortunate that his level of smart and interesting doesn't attract the level of attention that it should. Saw recently that a show on HBO got canceled. And honestly, as much of a fan as I am of Bomani, I never thought that show was really tailored to be a success with him. It felt a little overproduced, trying to be a little too cutesy. The vignettes thing that they did never really meshed up with his at the desk monologues that he was giving. The show felt, I could see it. I could see its run not lasting long. And that was unfortunate to me because I really liked him and I liked portions of that show. What I didn't see was that ESPN would count him among the people who are not returning. It has been pretty much shared widely now that Bomani Jones will not be returning to ESPN or HBO, which means one of the single smartest sports voices, a contemporary, interesting guy, is just being looked at as either don't need him, can't have the level of attention. Now, he's got The Right Time with Bomani Jones, which is a wildly successful podcast. And ESPN's stepping away from that. My friends, what is happening with sports media, again, not just to me, but to other provably successful, consumed, what I hope I could even be considered an intelligent sports voice, the way that we are being discarded is not going to serve you, the sports fan, better on linear TV, but it will be absolutely servicing you better right here in the world of new media that we are living in. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to your own podcast. Welcome to the content creator economy, because these content distributors are not only losing the audience share that they used to enjoy, they're losing their marbles with some of the actual decisions they're making as to the talent they are either A, retaining, or B, letting go It is a jungle out there. And there's not a lot of smart cats doing the hunting for these networks anymore. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable that a guy as good at his job as Bomani Jones is can be without a network home. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable than I am, to be totally honest with you. But that guy, come on, man. You know, you got to know your level. He was officially at the level above me. And he didn't deserve to be cast aside as let's go in another direction. It's just nuts to me. Absolutely nuts to me. Want to wrap up with two other quick stories before we get into Club Plus today. First, the fact that ownership change matters. Have you seen Washington Commanders practice training camp photos 1 year over the other? Last year, in the shot that I saw, there were basically two dudes sitting in folding lawn chairs, and that was the entirety of training camp attendance. There was no stands ever built for fans to come through training camp, and Daniel Snyder was just so awful that everyone essentially rejected giving him any money, any attention, or supporting the Washington franchise until he was gone. Fast forward to him now being gone, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of fans in attendance for Washington training camp. It's happening. And I can't help but see those pictures and think, an ownership change really matters. Fans respond to ownership change. If you're looking to solve the A's attendance record, don't build them a new stadium. Don't build them a new market. Just get rid of John Fisher. Replace him with anyone. And I even commented on this earlier on Twitter, or excuse me, X, whatever the hell it's called these days. And someone essentially said, well, the next owner would have to be the right owner. No, it wouldn't. I mean, I think we could throw a rock and hit a random person in the crowd and say, this person hit with a rock is now the next owner of the A's. They would be liked more. There would be thousands of people signing up for season tickets next year, just with a new face, not even knowing a thing about them. Oakland A's owner X would be more welcome than another minute of John Fisher. So ownership change matters, and the picture is worth 1,000 words on that subject that I've shared already today on social media. And you can ask your grandparents' kids, but we are saying RIP to a college football Hall of Famer, and certainly a name that is a big name in college football history. Johnny Lujack passed away a couple days ago. I learned about it this morning. He is the oldest, I should say, was the oldest living member of the College Football Hall of Fame. He dies at the age of 98, happened July 25th in Naples, Florida. In 1947, he won a Heisman Trophy at Notre Dame. He was a part of 3 national championships at Notre Dame. He lost but 1 game when he was at Notre Dame. He also lettered in basketball, baseball, and track, making him the first 4-sport letterman at Notre Dame since 1912. Again, he was there in the 40s, and even though this is old man radio, you got to expect the old mans who clearly were greats. Johnny Lujack was great. He was also on the cover of Time magazine, which made him about the most famous person in America for a week at a time, when that was the equivalent of trending in a dramatic way. The cover of Time magazine used to mean an awful lot. So fare thee well, Johnny Lujack, and ask your grandparents if they're still around, if they know that name. You might not recognize it, but your grandparents will. And on that, we also recognize that not all of you are watching on YouTube, As a matter of fact, many of you are listening to this in podcast form. Thank you so much for doing that. We will have more of it tomorrow when we go live at 11 a.m. every day, West Coast time on YouTube. That is turned around into the podcast. We are about to turn around here on YouTube and see what you've been chatting about on Club Plus. But for you listeners, I want to say thank you very much for listening to today. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, whew, he's gone. Getting sexier with disco lights. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to share some Black and Whiskey with you. If you're coming out to our August 5th event at Victory Hall, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Trust me. Let's see. Today, the chat, booming. What do we got going on? The Brockster is back. Indeed, he is. Look, who knows what year 2 for Brock Purdy would look like, but if year 1 looked that good, you got to assume he will be comfortable. You got to assume that this guy is officially going to step into a pretty good year, right? I mean, he seemed to just get it. He seemed to actually get it. By the way, Michelle Haberman, who's been known to pick up an Ike sandwich, is saying, damn, Wagyu pastrami, she's in. Oh, there's going to be delicious things happening at Ike's. There's always something delicious happening at Ike's, but man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Ike's now available in Roseville. You're right about that, Erwin. Our friend at Legends Pizza is like, man, I admire Ike. I've got 2 stores and I lose my mind on the daily basis. I couldn't imagine about 100. It's a monster operation that he's got going on. There's no doubt about that. Hello to Otis Bird III. He said the Angels trading Ohtani at the deadline would have been too risky for them and the team trading for him. It's going to be a crazy offseason, though. How many teams are going to go after him? Well, every team that checks the box can afford it. And let's face it, the price of Ohtani will begin at $500 million. He's going to have a $500 million contract put in front of him. There is absolutely no doubt. So you figure out who those are, and those are the teams that will be going after Shohei Ohtani. True Blue Forever says Luciano 0 for 2 in his debut. Is it too soon to talk trades? Yeah, just a touch. But again, you could hear it off the bat, couldn't you? It's gotten me in trouble in the past. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way down and work our way backwards, shall we? That way we're all caught up. Wagyu pastrami pizza sounds good. Yeah, it does. By the way, Legends is also saying, Ike, we need to collab. Here's the thing. If you reach out to Ike, he'll reach back. The man is there to give advice. The man is there to help those who are looking for a little advice. Like there's a very special person in Ike. And if you reach out to him, don't be surprised if he works back. You see Steve saying, Brock Purdy had no season to improve. I think we're expecting too much from the kid. Well, here's the thing, Steve. You know what you can always do? You can take mental reps. And his mental reps and his understanding of the playbook and the offense are things that he could have been working on this entire time. And from what I'm hearing about his work ethic, he was working on those things. Now, actually, just sitting around and throwing to your teammates, was he able to do that? The answer was no. But I am not worried about his short absence from the field of play more than I'm excited about what year 2 could look like for him. And I think that that's the way you got to go in wired too. I mean, you could be pessimist. You could be a pessimist. There's no doubt. But man, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this guy for all the reasons that as soon as you saw him inserted into the lineup, you were instantly not worried either. You know, it's hard. It's impossible to say any Mr. Irrelevant ever looked more comfortable instantly on a football field than he did. He looked comfy. You see, Steve, I hope you get out to I hope you get out to Victory Hall on August 5th. You need to try some blackened, but you can't seem to find it near you. Well, what I want you to do is go ahead and ask the liquor store you normally go into to put some blackened on their shelf. Ask them to stock it. Tell them that you will buy it. And that's a good way to get your favorite liquor store to pick up just about anything. Number two, if there's a Bevmo by you, that's where you can find it. Blackened is in all Bevmos. So you go there, you will find it. We got Drew Down saying August 5th should be legendary. I agree with you. And when I put out that Eventbrite invitation, again, we're not charging tickets. No charge. Come on through. Come on through and hang out. What we are looking, though, for is a little bit of an approximate head count. So our good friends at Victory Hall know about how many people to staff for the event, which, by the way, coincides directly with a Giants-A's game going on over in Oakland. So we're all going to have ourselves a fun watch party together. Just a few minutes ago, E. Scott Burns was not happy with the like total here. Only 22 likes. All I can tell you, E. Scott Burns, is we have found, just tracking all of our metrics, you know, our audiences have been shrinking. Why? It's summertime. I have seen that the least amount of views YouTube gets as a company are pretty much in this 4 or 5 week stretch that we're in right now. That July into August YouTube dip is significant for all content creators. And then once we get to about mid-August and the football really starts going, things start going up like a rocket ship. So anything you could do to make those analytics give us a kiss on the forehead, either by commenting or liking, we sure would appreciate it. Thank you oh so very, very much. Nice eye contact. Thank you. Am I making good eye contact? I'm trying to make good eye contact. I want to make eye contact with you. I'm going to feel like I'm looking directly into your eyes, True Blue Forever. I'm glad that you are mystified by it all. Here we go. Someone who understands. Johnny Lou Jack lived a long life, man. Todd, thank you very much. Todd, you're a new name in here. Thank you. I saw you hanging out before the show even started today. Appreciate that. Talking about the next owner I don't even care who the next owner of the A's is. Can't be worse than John Fisher. That is being illustrated right here by our friend Mitch, basically saying you could sell the team to Marge Schott's dog. That would be better. No doubt. No doubt. So he cannot move the team without any Major League Baseball approval. My pal Larry, wouldn't it be beautiful? Wouldn't it be beautiful for just a small group of other Major League owners to say, you know what, this John Fisher guy is officially bad for business. And Las Vegas could be so great for us from a business standpoint. We cannot let this poor caretaker of a franchise be just handed the diamond-encrusted reins that are the Las Vegas market. If Major League Baseball owners are as smart and motivated by greed as I believe they truly are, why would they let some broke-ass, doesn't even care enough about his own franchise to take care of it in its first place, guarantee everybody, yeah, I'll take care of it in the second place? He won't. He won't. I promise you, the A's would be the Las Vegas version of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Even if they had a brand new stadium, they ain't winning jack. Not with that guy owning. When someone tells you who they are, you got to believe them. Rockin' New Era 84, Twitter plus X. Isn't that Twix? Not bad. Not bad. Matt, sell the team, sell the team, sell the team. Yeah. To anyone. Again, a total rando would do better. R.I.P. Cougar Rebel says, I heard that the Washington football team is going to change its name again. I think it should. First of all, Commanders sucks. Let's be honest. Commanders is a terrible name. We're the Commanders. It sounds like a generic Arena League team. They can do better than that. Daniel Snyder took the easy way out because even though he was making money hand over and fist, he didn't want to pay anyone for trademarks that people were squatting on or anything like that, or URLs or IR, whatever, websites that people were squatting on. So he went with what was a terrible name. Just terrible. I would go back to either the Washington football team or come up with something else. They should. They really should. If I were the new owner of that franchise, I would want any and all association with anything Daniel Snyder ever did changed. The only thing I would be comfortable keeping would be the color scheme. That's it. That is it. Let's see here. What do we got? R.I.P. Cougar Rebel says, Damon, kind of glad you're doing your own thing now. I don't think that old station would allow you to speak on the Pac-12 or Bomani Jones. They just want you to talk about Draymond's punch and Brock's elbow all day. Well, here's the beautiful thing I could tell you, that nobody anywhere has ever told me what I can and cannot talk about. And it didn't happen over there, and it certainly isn't happening over here. So I would have done whatever I wanted to do. And whatever I wanted to do, by the way, was attached to so much rating success, and that's what no one argued with. Jim Murphy said, Bomani's HBO show is fantastic. Well, Jim, it was fantastic. Maybe a little bit too smart, a little bit too heady. And embrace debate culture. You know what I want to do? Like, really, when I think about what this show could be right here, what the Plus is going to be about, it's kind of like a Last Week Tonight, if you watch that on HBO, where it's hopefully well thought out stream of consciousness monologues that, are a little bit headier than maybe just the average bear would want. Again, I've never said that I'm going to have mass appeal. We will not appeal to the mouth-breathing idiots. We're looking for a smarter fan. I'm officially searching for a smarter brand of fan, which maybe means I'm fishing in a smaller pond, but I would rather pull fish from that pond than just idiots from the biggest ocean of sports talk drivel as we could find. Pac-12. The conference of former champions. Thank you, E. Scott Burns. It's gross. Pac-12 is now new Coke. They should, from a basketball standpoint, yeah, go ahead, adopt the Dons. University of San Francisco, I'd also, if I were the Pac-12, even though they don't have, look at it this way, Pac-12 has so screwed up everything from a football standpoint. Maybe they should just try to be the best basketball conference they could be, which would mean adding St. Mary's, Gonzaga, the Dons, I don't know, maybe Pacific. Pacific doesn't move the needle. Maybe Santa Clara, I don't know. Like, I used to have ideas on how to fix the Pac-12. I think I'm all out of ideas. It's nuts. UC Steve, Pac-12 about to be Market Street. Nobody there except a hole-in-the-wall bar. And Twitter X headquarters. Don't forget that. It's nuts, man. Pac-12 taking notes from Bally Sports, True Blue Forever. It's unbelievable. UC Steve all over this one today, saying Stanford landed one of the top high school quarterbacks in 2024. Hopefully he doesn't change his mind with the new Pac-12 mess. Here's the deal. If you are going to Stanford, the football career that you're about to have is probably, even within your own mind, secondary to the education you're about to receive. The old saying that if you're smart enough to receive a full ride to Stanford, there's no way you're dumb enough to turn it down. So, is football that kid's priority? Should football be any kid's priority at Stanford? I really don't know. It worked out well for Christian McCaffrey, but I really don't know. But yeah, the Pac-12 is about to be a great place for you to have a career played in front of no one but the people who bought tickets to come in and see you. And if you're at Stanford football, there's not a lot of people buying tickets to come in and see you. They're going to need to get the number out of there. You're right, Nathaniel. Might end up just be calling the Pacific Conference. I mean, it feels like you're losing a team, adding a team each and every year. Just go to the Pacific Conference, get the number out of it. Again, by the way, if you're wondering why you're having trouble slamming through a media deal, because you don't even know what your media split's going to be, because you don't even know how many pieces of pie you're going to be serving up. God, that's just so embarrassing. Like if I went to a Pac-12 school, man, I would just be I'd be furious. I'd be absolutely furious at what has happened to that conference. Very furious. How furious? Very furious. Albert at this point, he's like, yeah, man, might as well put the Santa Clara Broncos in there too. What the heck? I mean, that's a great way to go about building a conference. You're officially in the, what the heck? We'll just take anything stage of your conference building. That ain't good. That ain't good. I'll tell you what is good. The loyalty, the devotion, the handful of people that we got coming in each and every day. You mean so much to our success. You mean so much to me. The family could not do it without you. Thank you so very, very much for your loyalty, for your dedication, and for your consumption of the Damon Bruce shoe. The Damon Bruce shoe? My freaking Ed McMahon all of a sudden? Or not Ed McMahon. What's never mind. Really big shoe. I always forget his name. Ed Sullivan. There you go. Thank you very much for tuning in. It means an awful lot to me and everyone that you have. Please spread the word of the Damon Bruce show, Damon Bruce Plus, to your friends and family. Wait, I got to do a little subscription check over here because I'd like a nice round number. Where are we? We are officially at 6,791 subscribers. Let's say there are 9 of you right now who are watching but not subscribing. Can I get 9 people to subscribe today? Because that would bring us to 6,800. And I like a nice round number. Bring me to 6,800 if you could. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and when you hit the bricks, remember to come on back tomorrow at 11 a.m. because we'll be right back here. And please do remember, circle August 5th on your calendar. Once you see that Eventbrite sign-up sheet, if you plan on coming, please put your name down so we can get a decent head count and kind of figure out the crowd that we're going to be looking at on August 5th. At Victory Hall in San Francisco to come on watch the Giants and A's watch party that we are going to be having. It's great to have you here. Thank you so very much. And please do remember, you don't need to go home. You just can't stay here.